साहब अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। एक मुलाकात के साथ हम आरिफ मुज़फ़्फ़र
और हम आपकी खिदमत में हाजिर हैं अब्दुल माजिद जमाल और एक और सेगमेंट ऑफ साज़ व आवाज़। और आज के मेहमान
हम तालीम हासिल करते हैं, बेहतरीन तालीम हासिल करते हैं। एंड देयर आर पीपल जो कि अच्छी तालीम हासिल करने के बाद, प्रोफेशनल एजुकेशन हासिल करने के बाद अच्छा मुकाम भी हासिल कर लेते हैं, मगर कम्युनिटी को एक ख़ास जगह पे देखने की जुस्तजू और लगन जो है उनको एक और साइड पे ले जाती है। आई हैव हियर विद मी हमारी मेयरल कैंडिडेट जनाब पैट्रिक ब्राउन आज हमारे साथ हैं। पैट्रिक ब्राउन, मैंने जब उनकी तालीमी काबिलियत को सुना, अमेजिंग। आई वेलकम यू टू द शो एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर टेकिंग टाइम एंड coming to meet my viewers.
Arif, it's always an honor to be on your show.
Thank you very kindly. Patrick Brown, you do have tremendous experience in the political field. And before getting into that subject, I would like to know about your qualifications.
So I'm a lawyer. I practiced law in Brampton before I became an MP. I spent 3 terms in the House of Commons. I played an active role in international affairs for the Government of Canada, both with India and Pakistan. I served on the Federal Justice Committee, the Health Committee, chaired the Prime Minister's GTA caucus. When I became an MPP, I took over the education portfolio for the official opposition. And of course, I was leader of the PC party and leader of the official opposition. I've been a 2-term city councillor. I chaired the finance committee. I've got a wide array of government experience. And frankly, what that's taught me, there's only one taxpayer. You know, all 3 levels of government like to point fingers. After serving at all 3 levels of government, it's about getting everyone rowing the same direction. It's about working together. There's only one taxpayer. It's about making life easier and more affordable for that family.
So
3 different kind of
positions.
3 different kind
all
of
positions.
Exactly.
Only 2 left. Prime Minister and the mayoral position.
No, but with all that experience, how would that help you, do you think, being a mayor of Brampton?
So I've seen what works and what doesn't work. I look at the mental health program in Hamilton and how that saved big cost in policing, and I look, that's something that can work here in Brampton. I saw the sports investment where they did this new stadium by getting the community involved and didn't cost the city anything in Ottawa. That could work here in Brampton. I've seen what works. I've toured every community in Ontario. I know what are the best practices, and that type of knowledge I think could really be used to put Brampton in a better position.
But you always need provincial and federal help for doing whatever you want to do. We're going to talk about what you want to do. So do you think that you have a good approach with provincial and federal government?
For the last 4 years, Linda Jeffrey told us that she was best friends with Kathleen Wynne. They were colleagues. They endorsed each other on social media. We needed a new hospital. We needed a university. We needed modern transit. We didn't get anything. Anything. Right now, the provincial average is 2.3 beds for every 1,000 residents. In Brampton, it's 1. We have 60% less hospital beds. We were promised a university. Instead, we're getting a baby satellite campus, which is only going to teach cybersecurity, and it's going to be smaller than a high school, smaller than the other 2 satellite campuses we already have in Brampton. We were promised modern transit. Instead, she got for us an offer from the province that is 1/10 of what Scarborough is getting. So being best friends didn't work. I looked to Hazel McCallion. Hazel, she got in some pretty difficult fights with prime ministers and premiers, but she delivered results. They were scared to shortchange Hazel, so they delivered for Hazel. I look at Brampton right now, we're being shortchanged left, right, and center. It's about time we start sticking up for this city. We have a mayor that wants to celebrate whatever they give us. That's not the approach. I don't care if it's the Liberals in Ottawa or the Conservatives at Queen's Park. My party is the people of Brampton, and if they deliver for Brampton, I'll welcome them to our community. But if they don't, we're going to hold them accountable every single time they visit Brampton. And you know what, Arifa? They need Brampton more than Brampton needs them. No one's been elected Prime Minister or Premier with a majority government in Canadian history without winning seats in Brampton. That's why they show up here all the time. That's why they show up at election time posing for photos. They want warm and cozy visits to Brampton. And if they want to get those warm photo ops in our community, they better start delivering. We're not second-class citizens. We pay the same provincial and federal taxes as everyone else. Yet our healthcare is worse. Our transit is worse. Our education is worse. And I don't care what Linda Jeffrey says. She tries to say, oh, everything's great here. It's not. Look at the hospital in Oakville and compare that to Brampton. Look at the subway in Vaughan and compare that to our mediocre transit in Brampton. You compare the universities in Waterloo or Kingston, Queens, and compare that to Brampton. We're shortchanged. It's about time we stand up for our community and demand better and say, this is the 9th largest city in Canada, and I want us to have the same quality services. I'm not going to allow us to be bullied. I'm not going to allow our community, our Brampton, to be treated as second class.
Out of this $75 million that they announced, provincial government announced yesterday for hospital aid or more beds, where do you stand? How much do you think that you should get?
75 million coming out. I was encouraged that there's more money in the system, and then I found out in the details there's nothing for Brampton. There's nothing for Brampton. We have such weak political leadership. Where was the mayor, negotiating with the province? We want this amount of beds. We are hundreds of beds short, and we're not even on their radar. It's about time we get on their radar. We are not even on their radar right now.
Because Vajpayee, I personally live in Brampton, and I have seen Brampton, and I have nothing to do with the. I thank you, Patrick, that you came here. But in 4 years, what I have seen in Brampton, I think it's decline, all decline. You said one thing: mental health is an issue. It's at international level. And you said something, mental health and policing. What is that?
So it's a great project they've worked on in Hamilton that I want to bring and invest in Brampton. So 42% of the police calls are mental health, 42%. And so what in Hamilton they did is they hired mental health support workers to work with the police. Now I realize this is a provincial responsibility, but because it's not being funded properly, it gets downloaded to the municipality, and police officers have become glorified mental health workers. So right now in Brampton, we have police officers waiting 6 to 8 hours in the hospital. 6 to 8 hours. Can you believe that? So they're not out there fighting crime, they're waiting in the hospital. The way they do it in Hamilton is, if it is a non-violent mental health call, then the mental health worker takes over. They wait at the hospital, not the police officer. So the police officer can get out there and fight crime. Right now in Brampton, if someone steals your car, we don't investigate it. Someone breaks into your home, we don't investigate it. I want to give the police the resources to make sure they can actually fight crime, not wait in the hospital, not wait at emerge. If some thug steals your car and gets away with it, they're going to do it again. If some thug breaks into your home and gets away with it, they're going to do it again. And so I take a different approach than our current mayor. I'm going to have zero tolerance in all crime. If you allow crime to grow from the bottom up, it will. And I know Linda Jeffrey uses the term, we need to prioritize crime and choose which calls to respond to.
Crime is a crime.
Prioritize? No, a crime's a crime. We're gonna be strict. We're gonna have zero tolerance on all crime. We're not gonna pick and choose which crimes we can ignore. Enough is enough. We've seen crime escalate in our community. Last year, we had a record year for shootings. This year's even higher. Enough.
Number of homicides is also gone up.
20 homicides this year, or even 20 homicides in Brampton.
So what is your plan? Let's talk about the individual, let's talk about policing now.
So I released a 5-point plan on public safety that's on my website, www.votepatrickbrown.com. I released that with Councillor Gail Miles, long-term councillor, Adrian Woolley from the Peel Police Association, Pastor Jerry Thompson, who's worked with marginalized communities. We announced our action plan, and it was, one, we need to have the same amount of police as the provincial average. Right now we have 25% less. Number two,
Brampton has
25%
less police
than the provincial average. Number two, I want to really invest in the mental health project that I was talking about, the COAST program. Number 3, you have to attack the root causes of poverty. We have a backlog in affordable housing of 13,597. It's going up. The backlog for affordable housing is going up 13% a year. Our mayor's done nothing to address it. So we need to attack the root causes of crime, which are always interrelated with poverty. So deal with the social housing backlog. Number four, affordable recreation. It costs more to use our recreation in Brampton than elsewhere. It costs more to rent a soccer field. It's more expensive, less affordable. I want to make recreation something that is affordable, accessible, that everyone in the community can use, that we have enough recreation. You get young people off the streets, you invest in recreation, you get young people off the streets, they're engaged in something positive. And the last thing I want to point out is I want the mayor of Brampton to have a positive working relationship, a collegial working relationship with the chief of police. Right now we have a poisonous relationship. The mayor is not even on talking terms with the chief of police, and that doesn't work. You need to get everyone rowing in the same direction. You need to have a collegial relationship.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember when we went to India? So normally at these positions, there are rifts between these mayors and leaders. But anyways, very impressed. You talk about poverty as well. When I look at the reports, I have seen most of the young people are in the crimes, 21, 17, 16, car thefts. What is that? Robberies are very common in Brampton. And I think in last few days we have heard so many robberies, bank robberies. So drugs is a big issue. What do you have planned for the drugs?
Well, I think these more serious crimes, drugs, bank robberies, they grow from the smaller crimes that Linda Jeffrey is not addressing. That's why we want to have zero.
That she doesn't have a good relation with the police.
Well, that's why we want to have zero tolerance in all crime. If you let some thug break into your home, he's going to break into a store next or a bank. Zero tolerance on all crime. I'm going to stop that crime right at the beginning. I'd also say the province just awarded $25 million for drugs and gun crime to Toronto and Ottawa. Not a penny for Brampton. Why?
What is the reason? Why do you think that?
Listen, our mayor's not out there pushing for it. Our mayor's not fighting for it. You have to. We need to demand our fair share. Right? Hazel always got her fair share, but she demanded it. She was loud and aggressive.
On top of their shoulders.
Yeah.
She was always there. Yeah. That is the reason she definitely delivered.
Ask and you shall receive, right?
Yeah. If you don't ask, you can't complain.
Isn't that what it says in the Bible? Ask and you shall receive, and but we don't ask.
It says the same in Quran as.
You got it. Patrick, they're asking us to take a short break. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Sounds great.
Stay tuned.
Brampton used to be known as a safe community, but crime has spiraled out of control. We have a dysfunctional Brampton City Hall that doesn't even give the police the resources to do their job. We have break-and-enters, car thefts that aren't even being investigated. As mayor, I will make sure the police have the resources to keep our community safe, and those that commit crimes will be held accountable. On top of that, 42% of the Peel Region police calls last year were mental health related. I'm going to make sure the police have the mental health supports to respond to those calls most adeptly. I'm also going to invest in community recreation, give young people a place for positive diversions to learn the beauty of teamwork. As mayor, you can count on me to make sure Brampton is a safe community, is a community that gives you a sense of security. With new leadership at City Hall, we're going to get Brampton back on track. Unfortunately, Brampton is getting to be known for gridlock and endless traffic. We have a dysfunctional City Hall that can't get anything done on dealing with Brampton's serious gridlock problem. The provincial funding for transit was lost due to a lack of leadership at City Hall, and we still don't have two-way, all-way go. Right now, the 410 is pretty much a parking lot every morning and afternoon, and people are like sardines on the GO train where you can't even find a seat. We need real provincial, federal, and municipal investment in transit and roads in Brampton. Scarborough is getting a brand new subway. Mississauga is getting state-of-the-art transit, and we are being completely forgotten in Brampton. Enough! It's time we become a city that isn't known for traffic. Let's get Brampton moving. Let's get Brampton back on track.
Patrick Brown, mayoral candidate, he's here with us, and I thank you very much for your time. Must be very busy these days. Patrick, my two things I would like to talk about. You said everything good, and my mind is so open now. Even about the Brampton United Way, there was an article, and there was recently an article in Toronto Star as well. They say that poverty rate in Brampton is more than Ontario, and I think percentage wise, and then poverty leads to mental health issues, and then mental health issues lead to other crimes. So we can count on you that you can look after all these things.
Absolutely. You need to address the root causes of crime. We need to combat poverty. And a week ago I announced a poverty action plan at outside of Regen, which is a group that provides help to those homeless, those fighting poverty in Brampton, Pastor Ted Brown. You know, we have to take poverty seriously, and I hope my action plan speaks to it.
One thing what I would like to say, you are in the Brampton, and you said that your father was a practicing lawyer here in Brampton, you were practicing lawyer in Brampton, and then you went into the different sectors of the government in political departments. You are a very family oriented man. I saw you with your mama, and I think this is one of the things which is of our culture. And I congratulate you that you're getting married very soon. Can I ask this?
Yes, so I am very close with my family. My mother is a saint that I love and adore, and
she's a
very active on my campaign. I got married in a chapel this past weekend. We're having a bigger ceremony in the community this Monday.
Coming Monday.
You know, my wife now, Genevieve, she's a wonderful lady that I'm lucky to be married to.
Mashallah, mashallah.
She works.
Why I mentioned this, that Brampton is an area mostly South Asian of, we are all Canadians although now, but mostly of Indian and Pakistani origin, and we are family oriented with people, and when I look at your profile in that way, to be honest, I know it's a bit emotional for me, but I love it.
Yeah, but don't get very emotional, because Patrick don't have too much time either. Okay. Let's talk about when you say that you know, from the root cause of all these crimes and young people getting into it, and Arfa always talk about that on the radio too. Recreation for the younger people. To get involved in recreation so that they can get away from all that right from the childhood of that. Do you have any plan that you know you're going to create more recreation for those kids growing up?
So absolutely, we're going to invest in recreation as a tool to have a safe, healthy community. I'm going to invest in recreation across the board, whether it's more field hockey, whether it's more soccer, whether it's more recreation of all types. Let me give you an example. There's lots of things you can do to extend the use of our recreation. I look at our cricket pitches.
None.
We don't have lights on the ones we have. You put lights on, you can use them so many more hours during the days. There are signs up on tennis courts where there's lights that says no cricket allowed in Brampton. The reason they have to put those up is because people want to play cricket. People want to use want to have pitches. And so if you put them in a position where they have to go play cricket in a parking lot or a tennis court, it's because you don't have the facilities. I'm going to be a mayor that builds the facilities. I'm going to be a mayor that makes sure that if you're a cricket lover, if you're a soccer lover, if you're a field hockey lover, that we got the best recreation in Canada in Brampton.
You ever played cricket?
Of course.
I was talking to John Tory, and remember the last time we were talking to him, and he said he's getting into cricket and he's wearing the helmet. And
so my friend Chris, a Tamil guy, Shinhol, a cricket group, I went to their training academy. I took some bats there. I was out with some groups in Brampton more recently playing cricket. I played in the cricket tournaments at the Bapsman Deer that they have, the Boxing Day tournament every year. Actually, I also I had a chance to meet some great cricketers. Last January in India, I had dinner with Kapil Dev. I told him my plans to build cricket pitches in Ontario, and he said he'd come and help me open them. Kapil Dev, of course, was a famous cricketer.
Yes.
And more recently, this summer, there was a fundraiser in Brampton with Sharid Alfredi, and I had a chance to sit down with him and talk and told him about my plans for cricket, and he was very excited too. I want to get more people involved in sports, and I think there's an opportunity right here in Brampton that's untapped. You know, the G20 cricket tournament happened in King. They wanted to do it in Brampton, but we didn't have the facilities. We need a mayor. The people want it, right? The people want it. We just need a mayor who's going to have the vision to say, this is going to be incredibly utilized opportunity. We're going to build the recreation. We're going to build the facilities to make sure a sport that our community loves, they can utilize.
So this is a core issue, Majid Bhai, because if they involve youth in the sports and recreation, that will be that will help to solve many other problems. Our seniors are also of our concern. What are the plans for the seniors?
So I've announced two pretty significant commitments to seniors, and I would note that no other candidate for mayor has put out a platform for seniors. I'm proud to be the only candidate that's put out a platform for seniors. Number one, if you're a senior over the age of 65, as mayor, I'm going to offer free transit. Free transit for seniors. Free, you can use the city buses for free. Number two, we're going to push at the region to double the low-income dental program. Low-income dental program. Right now, the dental program, if you're a low-income senior, it's like a one-time thing. You can barely even get a cleaning. Not good enough. If you don't address dental issues for those that can't afford dental care, they'll end up in the hospital. It costs government more. There was actually a report from the Ontario Dental Association that suggests you help people who can't afford it. It'll actually save you money because they don't end up in a merge. In terms of the transit for seniors, we're going to do this. It's not going to cost you anything. We're going to add 1 bar of advertising to the city buses, and that advertising bar will pay for the cost of the transit for seniors. But I don't know why you're saying great. You're not seniors yet, so you're not going to be able to use it.
No. Seniors, it's great for my community because there are many seniors, and of course.
In 21 years, Arifa, in 21 years, when you're 65, you'll be able to use it.
You're so sweet. I love you. Oh my God. Really? But we definitely, one thing what I like is, Patrick, I have seen you in other position as well, at the provincial level and at the government, at the country level, provincial level and the country level. But I have seen you that you are a people person. So once you are a people person, you are not away from the community, you know the core issues. So once elected, there will be no change?
No change. You have to be accessible, you have to be available. Some politicians go disappear at City Hall and you don't hear from them for 4 years. They disappear to the Queen's Park, you don't hear from them, or the House of Commons. You can't disappear, you have to be engaged in your community, be available, be accessible. Then you have the pulse of the community. Then you can fight on behalf of the community. You can't be disconnected. That's why I do something unusual. When I go to events, I hand out my business card, and a lot of politicians will put their office number or their assistant's number on their business card. I give out my cell phone. And the reason I do...
And you're not going to change your cell phone after becoming mayor.
And the reason I do that is because...
He was the leader of opposition, he had the same number.
Yeah. I want to be available.
Yeah, he was available even that
How is
time.
your campaign going?
Campaign's going great. You know, the polls are encouraging. The response to the doors is very encouraging. We're feeling there's a real sense of momentum that people in Brampton want change. We're presenting an opportunity to get that change. If you're tired of skyrocketing crime, you're tired of traffic, suffocating traffic, you're tired of a lack of good paying jobs in Brampton, if you're tired of the dysfunction at City Hall, well, there's an opportunity now to have a really exciting chanch in Brampton.
What is the voting is advanced polling?
Advanced polling is already opened. You can vote today at Brampton City Hall, and then on the weekend it's going to be at community centres across Brampton. You can look at the voting locations on the Brampton website and the City of Brampton website, and would encourage everyone to get out and vote. This is your democratic right,
exactly.
And make sure you participate, make sure you have your say, make sure you extend your voice.
One question. Suppose if somebody is Canadian and he is out of town at the moment, how can he vote for you?
Well, you're going to have until October 22nd to vote. And so you can vote now, you can vote until October
But they
22nd.
can vote on the online?
No, there's no online voting.
No online voting. पैट्रिक ब्राउन और आपको हम इनकी वेबसाइट पे लेके जाते हैं. आमिर इज़ अ वेरी, मुझे पता है माजिद भाई ऑलवेज सेज कि यू कैन नॉट इंडोर्स, बट यू नो दिस इज़ नॉट दैट. अब मैं इधर मुंह करके आपसे बात करती हूँ. आई हैव सीन हिम डूइंग थिंग्स.
Of course, yes.
आइए आके मुलाकात कीजिएगा, आइए इनके कैंपेन ऑफिस में आए आके देखिए, बात करें और वो आप फिर वाइब्स महसूस करें. और वो कहते हैं ना कि आजमाए हुए को आप कितनी बार और आजमाएंगे आप. वी नीड ब्रैम्पटन इन द बेस्ट पॉसिबल शेप. मेरा फ्यूचर, मेरे बच्चे का फ्यूचर मेरा फ्यूचर है. और वो सारी बातें पैट्रिक ने की हैं.
Definitely. You know what? And I wish you all the best.
Any message for our viewers today?
Just make sure you get out and vote, make sure you participate, and if you want to get involved in my campaign, you can come by 83 Kennedy Road South, drop by. We always need volunteers. If you want to drop by the office, pick up a lawn sign, or follow us on social media, Patrick Brown ONT on Twitter and Instagram. That's Patrick Brown ONT, or on Facebook, vote Patrick Brown.
There you go.
Okay,
Vote
thank you.
Patrick Brown. You know
वोट
what?
पैट्रिक ब्राउन. मैं सिर्फ इतना कहती हूँ कि फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस लेने के लिए, इफ़ यू आर रेजिडेंट ऑफ ब्रैम्पटन, कम टू हिज ऑफिस, मीट हिम और अपना वोट का हक ज़रूर इस्तेमाल कीजिए. थैंक यू वेरी मच पैट्रिक फॉर कमिंग हियर.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
God
Thank
bless.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
आज दीजिए इजाज़त. अगली मुलाकात तक हमारा और आपका
Allah Hafiz.
Behind me is the old Dixie Cup plant, and sadly it's leaving Brampton, yet another business to leave our community. We need to bring jobs back to Brampton. Almost 70% of Brampton leaves our community each day to go to work elsewhere. Enough. Brampton used to be a prosperous community, and we can't stand by as Brampton becomes a bedroom community. As mayor, I will personally pitch businesses to locate in Brampton. With personal tours of our employment lands, I will highlight our proximity to the airport, point out our educated young workforce, and promise no red tape at City Hall. Just like the great Hazel McCallion did in Mississauga, we need to go after investment. We can't wait for investment to come to us, and we have been lazy on economic development. It's time we get Brampton back on track with real leadership at City Hall.